In this video, I'm going to talk about these 7 things that I wish I knew before going to VidSummit. Number 1, go in person. I know a lot of people who fly from literally all over the world to come here, in terms of the flight to come here, the cost of, food and just like, spending expenses, the cost of the hotel itself in terms of, staying there and everything. So it's not an easy thing, right? It's not a cheap thing, especially when you factor in not only the ticket, but all the other stuff. However, I'm telling you, in person, when you go, the amount of connections you're going to make is insane. Number 2, meet everyone. Now, obviously, you have to be in person to meet everyone. So this kind of goes hand in hand with the last thing I just said. But honestly, I'm not exaggerating. Walk up to almost every single person there and just say, hey, I'm Mark. Nice to meet you. What's your YouTube channel about? That is a great conversation starter. And I know at first it may be weird. You may be like, no, I'm not gonna ask some random stranger at this conference about their YouTube channel. But I promise you, within the first few hours of being there, there's going to be a tremendous amount of people asking you about your channel. It's not going to be awkward because the amount of collaborations that are going to be happening at VidSummit is going to be off the charts. I remember when I first went, they said to me, like look, there have been multi-million-dollar deals made at this exact conference. I remember being like, okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but that is actually the case in terms of like sponsorship deals, big channels collaborating with small channels, meeting, like say, someone presenting that had this unique connection that you didn't expect. I mean, the amount of networking opportunities, I'm going to kind of repeat that throughout this video, is truly insane. And so I'm telling you, meet every single person you can. This is probably the most important one on this list. Actually, I might even say even more important than going in person. And the reason why is I look at VidSummit very comparable, especially with me being a DJ music producer. I look at very comparable to a music festival where you have different stages. I think there's literally 4 different rooms. I refer to them as stages, and you have different people presenting. And it was very common last year where, I'm not exaggerating, there'd be 4 people presenting at the exact same time. And unless you want to run around like crazy and miss a bunch of information, you just have to pick one. You're like, all right, I guess out of these 4, I really want to see 3 of them, but I'll just pick the one that I really want to see the most, I guess. I don't know. So 1, it allows you to see all those other talks that you missed. Impossible for you to see every single talk. It is impossible because in terms of scheduling conflicts, just like, seeing your favorite artists at a music festival, you can't see all of them at once. It's impossible. The second thing though, and this is maybe even a bigger one than that, is that a lot of the presentations are about like an hour long. And typically, especially if it's something very, very technical, something very SEO heavy, even if you're taking notes, even if you're trying to pay attention as quick as you can, a lot of people move very, very fast when they're giving a presentation. They move very, very quickly because they want to give you as much information that you can use right away. Allows you to watch it pretty much an infinite amount of times after the event. Number 4, record the best performances. 1 is I always do vlogs of VidSummit, right? So I kind of use that footage for a bit of like a vlog style video. But the second thing is that, especially when it comes to rewatching the live streams, 1, sometimes the quality is not the best. It just, I don't know, it doesn't happen. And 2 is that I remember there was a certain period of time after VidSummit ends, there's a bit of like a delay period for you to actually get all those live streams and you be able to watch them. So for me, what I liked is that if I recorded, like say one presentation is going to be insane. I'm like, oh, this is going to be one of the best of this entire conference. I will record with my phone. So that way, when like say I go back to it that night or that day or a couple days after, I have a high quality, very high quality recording of the presentation that I can immediately start just, dissecting different elements and looking at all the technical stuff. Number 5, attend the pre and post networking events. Because 1, you're paying for the conference. So it's not like you have to spend more to go to the pre or the post networking events. Although I do understand that if you're like say staying in the hotel, you have to kind of figure that out. But I'd say, like, trust me, especially for the pre and the post networking events, I found that the people there were actually the most receptive to collaborating. They were most receptive to networking. They were the people who were like, look, I came here to grow my channel. I came here to learn how to make money, to grow my business from here to here, and I want to do whatever I can. Like, the people that I met in those events were definitely some of my favorite people all of the entire conference. And in addition, a decent amount of the speakers too actually hung out at these pre and post networking events. And at these events, there is maybe 10 or 20% of the people from the entire conference. So let's say there's a particular YouTuber or particular speaker you really want to talk to. These are the best times to do it because it's way less stressful. It's way less chaotic because people are trying to run in different rooms. People are trying to like see all these different, talks that they can and everything. It's way less stressful and way easier to network. Number 6, plan your speakers. Now, just like a music festival where you have a bunch of different stages and you want to plan out kind of your artist schedule, same exact thing with these speakers. First thing I suggest, make sure you read each speaker's description. Even if you've never heard their name, always read the description because they may bring up something that you're like, oh, for each speaker, they'll actually give you like a brief description of 1, who they are and what they do, and 2, what their talk is going to be about. So let's say you're big into esports, you want to become a professional gamer on Twitch and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. There may be a talk by someone you've never heard of who's like, hey, this person is going to be talking about how to grow your gaming presence on not only YouTube, but on Twitch as well. And you may be like, oh, great, that's perfect. And, star that one. Make sure you do this before you get there because I'm telling you, during the chaos that is VidSummit, it is going to be so hectic. And the last thing you want to do is to be like, shoot, there's 4 people speaking right now. I don't know which one to go to. I'm telling you, just way easier. Sit down, take maybe it's pretty quick. Take like 10 or 20 minutes and just say, okay, I'm going to do this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. That way you have your schedule all planned out and you're ready to go. Number 7, last, but definitely not least, make sure you plan out and figure out where the rooms are in advance. This is something I did not do and I heavily regretted it because when it comes to at least last year's layout, those 2 rooms that were kind of close to each other, and these other 2 rooms that were all the way on the other side, pretty much, of the hotel. And I remember that when I was going to one of the talks, right, I planned out my speakers, I was going to one of the talks, I was like, wait, where is this room? And I had to ask people. And then I realized it's about maybe a 5-minute walk from where I am to go all the way to that room. And I missed the beginning of the presentation. So one big thing I have to suggest, and this usually, like I said, only like 3 or 4 rooms. So it's not like you have to memorize all these crazy locations. But I'm telling you, make sure you kind of walk around the hotel. Make sure you know exactly where each room is. So if someone says, okay, it's in blank room, whatever the room is, you're like, all right, I know exactly where that is. So that way you don't have to kind of walk around, ask people. You're going to miss out on the beginning of the presentation, right? And typically, I'm going to be honest, most presentation beginnings are usually like them introducing themselves and what they do, but still, you don't want to miss anything. You're there to make money, you're there to learn as much information as you can, so you don't want to miss out on anything.
Ba ba da da ba da ba da ba ba da da ba.